Hey guys, it's Addie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a makeup tutorial over a Christmas, simple kind of Christmas look. I actually have a look in mind. I actually did it yesterday and my mic was off, so I did the whole makeup tutorial, and when I went to download it, my voice wasn't captured the whole time. I could have done a voiceover, but I just rather do it all over again. So with that being said, let's get started. So this is my face natural. I don't have anything on. Washed my face, put some moisturizer on, and that's it. So what we're going to be using today for foundation is the Foria Soft Matte Longwear foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations. One, because it's matte. Two, is because it's full coverage. Three, because it's affordable. It's very, very, very nice, but the only thing is that it comes in limited amount of colors. There's only 10 colors. So I found that 102 Nude is the best color for me. It is a little bit light when I apply it on, but that's what bronzing's for. And you're gonna take a sponge or a brush, whatever works for you. I like to use a sponge and just dab it on. So after your foundation, I'm going to go ahead and put on the Tarte Shape Tape concealer. This is one of my favorite concealers of all time. I'm using the shade Fair. You're just gonna put a little bit on. A little goes a long way because this is full coverage. Just gonna dab it on. And now for setting powder, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever translucent powder. This is one of my favorites. I've used it forever. Just go in and you want to press. Press and dab it on. Go in with bronzer. I like to use a angled fluffy brush so I can really get in there. Some people like to use the compact, the really tight compact angle brushes or flat kabuki angle brushes, whatever. But I like to really just kind of get in there and be a little messy with it. And I'm going to be using this palette right here, one of my favorites. And as you can tell, I use this one a lot, and that's what I'm going to be using again for this video. You go in. You want to start right here on the top of that cheekbone and just kind of blend in. You don't want to go underneath the cheekbone. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the purpose. It just kind of looks way too messy. And then also you want to go on top of your nose a little bit, not too much. Don't mind my little pimple there. go in with some blush. I'm going to be using the Sigma Lady Slipper blush, and I will be using my Bare Minerals. I've had this forever, just a little fluffy brush, anyone will do. And with this specific blush, it is really pigmented, so I like to use a little bit and just kind of tap it off and just kind of sweep it. This gives a little color. And now we're going to move on to the brows. I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Brown Dip Brow Pomade. And I am going to be using the Sephora Precision number 20 brush. I think these are a little cheaper than the Anastasia brush, but they're both literally the same, so it's just nice, and the brush is nice and flat and also gives you a spool at the end. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just brush my brow hairs one way and dip a little bit pomade, and then start underneath your brow and just kind of give it a guide. I'm going to move my mirror closer so I'm still in frame. Oop. You just want to guide it along. And then go on the top of your brow, just kind of outline it until the tail meets. Like that. And then you just go in a little bit more and you just fill it in. You don't want to use a lot because otherwise it'll look like you sharpied your brows. But you'll just use a little bit starting from the beginning to end. Well, starting from the middle, I'm sorry. So we got one eyebrow done, and we're gonna do the next. All right, I got both eyebrows done, and if they don't look exactly the same, eyebrows are sisters, not twins, so yeah. Okay, now for the fun part. We're gonna be doing the eyeshadow, and I'm gonna go and use my Shade and Light palette. This is one of my favorites of all time eyeshadow palette because I'm one of the girls that like the neutral colors. I'm not a huge shimmer fan. This has it all. Sorry for the mirror, but voila. And I'm gonna say, I know a lot of people like to do their eyeshadow before their foundation, but for me, it's just a personal preference. I like to do my foundation before my eyeshadow just because when I go in with my foundation and concealer, I like to put it on top of my eyes just to kind of create a, what is it called? Just to kind of mute out any veins or redness or anything like that. It just makes my eyeshadow pop more, but that's just a personal preference. So yeah. Oh, and I didn't put on primer on my face just because with me, my skin's weird, but I'm kind of lucky because I don't like using primer. So what primer does for my face during the day, if I put primer on and my makeup on during the day, after a few hours, I feel like my makeup is slipping off and I get really kind of like oily throughout my T-zone. So, but I did like an experiment where I just didn't wear primer, and I find that my makeup lasts a lot longer. And same goes with the eyes. I'm just not gonna use eye primer because my eyeshadow does last throughout the day without it. I mean, it lasts during the day with eyeshadow primer as well, but I find I get the same kind of results without it. So, but if you wanna add primer to your face or your eyes, go for it. Go for it, go for it. I'm going to use this color here, right? Oop. This guy, this big one right here. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use my Morphe M200. It's like a dome-shaped fluffy brush. And I'm just gonna go in and just gonna give my eyeshadow, my eyes color. See, it kind of gives it more definition, I guess, than this one. This one just kind of looks plain. We're just gonna add a little bit more on this side. Okay, now I am going to use this dark brown over here, this guy, and I'm going to be using that same fluffy brush. If you prefer another brush to pat on the color on the outer eyelid, go ahead and use that, but I like to use the same brush. That's just me. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna kind of pat this color in and just kind of build it up a little bit. Rude. And then I'm going to add some right here of the same color. Just kind of pat it in. Like that, and just kind of make them touch in the crease, but leave this part blank. You just want to get in that crease in there. Okay, so I'm going to be using this brush right here. It's like a flat eyeshadow brush, and I will use this for under my eyes, using that same brown that we used to blend on the top eyelid. This guy. And we'll just go right underneath the lash line. Alright, so this is the fun part. I'm going to be using my NYX glitter primer. This helps glitter stick so well. I've not found a glitter primer that works as well as this one, and it's super cheap. So go get you some glitter primer. And I'm going to be adding some sparkles. I'm going to be using the Annette 69 palette. And the sparkles we're going to be using is the 951. Right here. Just add a little bit of glitter primer. You literally just need a dot. And then I share it with my other finger, like that. And I use this one for this eye and this one for this eye. You just want to go in that space right here. And just dab it in that space. You don't need a lot of glitter primer. And before I go onto my other eye, I'm gonna go ahead and get the sparkles before my primer dries and just kind of dab it. Get some more. Like so. We'll do the other eye. Before I put on lashes, I always have to have a liquid liner because I feel like it sticks better to liquid liner than my eyeshadow. So that's just what I prefer. We're just gonna go and put the top liner on. You do want to be careful since you do have sparkles on your eyes. It gets a little bit rickety. So just be careful with that. Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to the mascara. You could use any mascara, but for this look I'm going to use the Better Than Sex mascara. Ooh, got some eyeliner on my thumb. I'm going to be using the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced. Okay, before I move on to the lashes, I'm going to go ahead and put on my lipstick. I'm going to be using the Poinsettia by Jeffree Star. I'm going to mute out my lips by using what I have on my sponge from my foundation and just kind of mute that color out so the color from the liquid lipstick is a little bit more bright. And we'll apply the lipstick. I'm gonna add this guy. I added this light just because I can't really see what I'm doing. I want to make it precise. Okay, so moving on to the lashes. I don't have a specific lash in mind. I usually like to go a little bit more dramatic, so I'm going to be using the lashes by, I think it's Allure, and the Definition, I want to say it's Definition. And this is the final look. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed my video today of this Christmas look. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. Alright, thanks again and Merry Christmas. Bye guys.